Hello and welcome to this episode of the Business Spotlight. Today we are joined by Nigel Adams. Hi, Nigel.
Hi there, Mark. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Not a
So,
problem.
the Business Spotlight, for those of you that are just joining us for the first time today, the Business Spotlight is for us to find out a little bit more about Nigel and Nigel's business and to inspire those of you that are thinking about getting into business or that have just started that entrepreneurship journey. So, Nigel, if you could just kick things off for us by letting the viewers know who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for.
Yeah, sure. I'm Nigel Adams. I'm a residential estate agent. I'm the owner of BigBlackHen.com estate agents, and we've been going for about 19 years.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Nigel. So, wow, 19 years. So what would you say makes you guys stand out from the others that are doing what you do, Nigel?
Well, as the name Big Black Hen suggests, we've always tried to do things a little bit differently to other agents. I'm not saying that there aren't some very good agents out there, because there are, but it's an industry that doesn't have a particularly good reputation. So what we did to start with was we didn't have a high street office, which allowed us to, which back in 2005 was quite innovative. And that allowed us to reduce our overheads. We worked on fixed fees, not commissions, which are more transparent because we put them on our website. We naturally now have them on the back of our business cards. And we had simple contracts with no tie-ins, whereas most agents tie people in for 3 months. So it was a proposition about being a bit fresher, a bit more transparent, a bit more customer focused.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And that's a great share. So thank you very much for that, Nigel. So what would you say the journey's been like so far? I mean, obviously it's been a 19-year journey for you. So if you could just run us through a little whistle-stop tour of, how it all started, the evolution of the business and sort of like some of the trials and tribulations, and bring us up to speed as to where you are now.
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, being a commission-based industry linked to the property market, it's had its ups and downs. So, when we started the business, we did every sale for 1,500 quid. Actually, well, we got so inundated, we had to start having a range of fixed fees. So
Yeah.
that was the first learning curve. Don't undercharge. Um, it was very successful for a few years. It was down in West Somerset, actually, on Exmoor. And then the property crash came along, and that was pretty tough because no one wanted to buy anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty difficult. Had to lay off one of our members of staff. Never had a lot of staff actually, but things like that are not easy. Managed to get the business through that. Then I moved up to Hertfordshire, so I shut the business in Somerset and restarted it again in Hertfordshire, and we've been going ever since in Hertfordshire. I mean, obviously, we've had ups and downs in that period because we've had COVID, we've had various elections, we had all the shenanigans with Brexit. Recently we've had mortgage rates go through the roof. So, yeah, we've seen it all, really.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's some pretty tough challenges, just to say the least. So thanks for that share. So, I mean, what does the future look like for you guys? I mean, and what do you think are going to be your main challenges going forward?
Yeah, I'm always optimistic. You've got to be optimistic doing this job. I think the main challenge is always to, have enough of a profile to win new customers. Really the way we do that, probably more than anything else now, is through networking. So we go out and do a lot of networking. It's not really what you know, it's who you know, although it's quite handy to know things as well. That's the main way that we get stuff. We get the stuff through recommendations, word of mouth, good reviews online, and networking. So because we've been around quite a few years now, people do phone us up, that might have worked with us previously.
Yeah, no, that's a really good share. And I think it's a very key element, isn't it, to sort of, like you say, get the name out there, get the brand out there, and more importantly, get yourself out there. So thanks for that share, Nigel. So moving on to yourself as the business owner, I mean, what is it that really stands out for you over that sort of 19-year period? The biggest lesson that you've learned as a business owner, what would you say that is?
Well, I think the biggest lesson is to keep an eye on your costs. Everybody says that cash flow is king, and it certainly is. You need to make sure that you minimize your costs and don't fall into the trap of saying yes to things when things are going well, because when things start going south, you're going to need that money. So that's what I would say. I'd also say actually that you should always have a rainy day reserve up your sleeve, to make sure that when things aren't going so well, you can tide the business through those periods. Certainly in our sort of industry, but I would say in really any industry, you ought to, have maybe 4 to 6 months worth of income put to one side as a sort of, grain store for you for the bad times.
Yeah, I think that's a really powerful share, Nigel. Thank you for that, because not only keeping an eye on the current costs is key, as you say, but having that cushion, that safety net, as it were, just for those rainy days. Because, like you've mentioned, we've had a few over the last few years, to say
Yeah.
the least. So, yeah, no, that's a really great share. Thank you very much for that. So, on that vein, I mean, knowing what you know now, humour me if you will. We're going to go back in time, Nigel, and we're going to go back and we're going to go and see an 18-year-old Nigel.
Mm.
The benefit is that you get to know what you know now. You can give one piece of advice to an 18-year-old you, and it's obviously going to be useful for some of those younger viewers watching today as well. But what would that one piece of advice be?
Is that for sort of starting a business or?
Predominantly in a business vein, but I mean, it's your answer, so you can go with whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Well, I would definitely go with your instincts and do things that you like, because if you don't like things, you're not going to be any good at them. I mean, I like dealing with people, so I worked in the advertising industry before becoming an estate agent. So selling, customer service, meeting people, that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy. So I would definitely try and find something that floats your boat, or whatever the current term would be. And I think if you're going to set your own business up, then you need to make sure it's got a point of difference. That you look at what other people are doing and you think, how could I do it better or differently, or both, hopefully. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, no, that's really powerful. I think looking to improve on something that's already there is one key element. But I think the thing I loved the most about what you've just shared there, Nigel, is finding something that you love doing, because it's so key, isn't it? It's so important. And I'm not sure what the new fandangled term for that may well be, but it's certainly something that I think a lot of people out there need to realize, is that, find what you love doing. And if you can go out there and earn a living doing it, then, more the better. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you spend a lot of years in work, don't you? So, and a lot of people don't enjoy their jobs. So you want to try and find something that you do enjoy. I mean, you might be doing something that you like in principle, but you don't enjoy the job because of your boss or whatever. So you'll have to go and find another company. But at least if you start with something that's up your street, then you've got more of a chance of being successful at it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that. Nigel, you're obviously passionate about what you do. So what is it that really inspires you to do what you do daily, weekly, monthly?
Trying to earn a living. Yeah, I think that's probably the main one, really. I don't really have a sort of, I go to a lot of networking things, and people put up, here's my we, and they show their dog or their wife or their kids or whatever. I don't really subscribe to that. But I suppose, I like dealing with people. Um, and if I can make a success of it as well at the same time, then that's no bad thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really great share as well. So, I mean, just to wrap things up for us then, Nigel, I mean, Big Black Hen, I mean, people want to find out more. They want to find out more about you and more about the company. What's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, simple really. Just go on bigblackhen.com and look us up. You can give us a call or email us if you've got any questions or want to have a chat. I'm always happy to chat with people, by the way, who are, let's say there's people listening to this who are thinking of starting a business or getting into a estate agency or whatever. I'm always more than happy to talk to people and help them along their way.
No, that's really kind of you. I really appreciate that. And I'm sure a lot of the viewers will take you up on that. So thank you, Nigel. And it's been great to get to know a bit more about you and a bit more about the business.
Pleasure, Mark. Yeah, nice to talk to you.
Yeah, and thank you very much to all of our viewers as well for joining us on this week's episode of the Business Spotlight. We'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.